Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing yet another movie review. This movie is a drama from French language English subs, released in the year 2017, directed by Michael Haneke, and this film is called Happy End. So Happy End is about a very rich family, and the leader of this family is a very old man who's got dementia. So since he had dementia, the family have rallied around him, and they want to care for him and make life the best they can. But in the meantime, we get skeletons in the closet from each and every character that has a domino effect as far as consequences are concerned. So what we see at the start of this film is completely different to the perception we have at the end. So what's in store for this family is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Happy End. Michael Haneke is a legendary filmmaker and one of the legendary foreign filmmakers who's actually made it in the United States. And so this guy has a wide range. He has a wide range as far as fan base is concerned. And so that's something that really makes me feel good, because a lot of these foreign directors don't get the recognition in the United States. He made a film called Funny Games in Austria, and he since went on to make it a remake in the United States, a shot-for-shot remake with Naomi Watts and Tim Roth. And so that's the accolades that I think a lot of these foreign directors need, and that shows you how much of an influence Michael Haneke is. And so as far as these movies, you think of Funny Games, you think of Hidden, aka Cache, The Piano Teacher. Now I've got a whole list of his movies in my catalogue, but I haven't reviewed every one of his movies, but I've reviewed quite a few of his films. And what I appreciate about this director the most is that I haven't loved every one of his movies, but I've appreciated them because he is a very unique filmmaker, and every single one of his movies has his trademark style, but he's not afraid to take a risk, and he's not afraid to go a different avenue of storytelling. Yes, he keeps his style, but I always feel that some of his stories work and some of his stories don't. So it shows the hallmarks of a very confident director. And so coming into Happy End, although I had massive expectations based on the fact that it's Michael Haneke, I still had a little bit of skepticism based on the fact that he does try different things. And this movie seemed like a different thing. This movie is definitely a dialogue-based film. And so I thought, how is he going to capture my interest? And after watching Happy End, I will say it's not one of his best movies, but it still has the hallmarks of what makes him a great director. And the biggest aspect that I can put to him as a great director is his ability to sustain your interest through dialogue and through character development. I thought the overall skeletons in the closet to these characters I thought was fascinating, in that your perception of the family at the start is completely different at the end, because it slowly uncovers and these people are slowly unraveling in a three-dimensional shape. And so I thought there was never really a dull moment. I thought as though the acting was fairly decent. It's a very downbeat and depressing sort of movie. There's a strong level of melancholia to the film, and I thought the characters, they were just as despicable as one another, even the very young characters. And so that's what I liked. It was just a train wreck of a really rich family, and it's basically showing you just because you're really rich doesn't necessarily mean you're a good person. I also really liked his way of storytelling in Happy End, in that there are a lot of moments, say for example, there are two people who are having a conversation, there are no subtitles, and you can't actually hear what they're saying, and so you kind of think to yourself, well, what was the purpose of that particular scene? But then later on it gives you clues as to what that conversation was about, but you have to remember what that conversation, where that conversation took place. So it's like you're playing investigator, and Michael Haneke is forcing you to use your brain, use your memory, and piece together the clues on your own. So it's an indication that he actually sees his viewers as very smart people, and he doesn't have to dumb it down. I know that's very true to what Michael Haneke is all about. Each and every one of his films, especially Hidden, aka Cache, you have to pay attention throughout the whole film to really get what that is. And so that's something, again, I really like about his level of intelligence as far as filmmaking is concerned. And you also have an all-star cast, and that's going to be the draw card, which is ultimately my problem to the film, is that this movie is one-time viewing. Once you unpiece everything, there's no real replay value, because I felt as though as far as his stories are concerned, this one was a little bit thin. And I felt as though, as far as a Michael Haneke fan, I felt as though it was my obligation to watch this movie based on the fact that it carries such a large name. And I felt that the all-star cast were there to, again, they felt obliged to support such a director, not necessarily the roles that were put in front of them. So what I mean by that, you've got Isabelle Huppert, who's a legendary French actress, Mathieu Kassovitz, who's a legendary French actor. You've also got Toby Jones, who's a legendary English actor. And I kept feeling as though the overall cast are absolutely brilliant, but the script and the characters weren't brilliant to match. And so I thought, well, why did Michael Haneke need these actors? And ultimately, I didn't really feel as though he did. I felt as though, as I said, they were obliged because of the fact it's the Michael Haneke name. And Michael Haneke, I believe, carries Happy End quite considerably, is that this is a film, if it was a nobody, it wouldn't have been any good. I really wouldn't have even gone out of my way to see it, because the trailer didn't win me over because of the story. The only reason this won me over is because of the director, and so I definitely feel as though this is one of the films of Michael Haneke where he's actually carrying it based on his name, not on the interest of the story and not on the interest of what is actually going on in front of you. So that was my real issue with the film, is that yes, it does have that dull, melancholic approach that is classic Michael Haneke, but I didn't feel as though there was as much passion in this movie as his previous efforts. And so again, I really appreciate the fact that Happy End was a little bit different, because he is trying things differently. It is very much a script sort of based film, and I thought the script actually holds your interest, but as I said, I didn't really feel as though I was blown away as I was with his other films. And so this is definitely one of the more forgettable Michael Haneke films, but if you are a die-hard fan of his, this is definitely a movie I would recommend. But I just don't feel as though it was a movie that's going to get by based on its story and its overall heart. It's just a movie that's going to get carried by the names that are attached to it. So overall, for Happy End, going to give this one 2.5 stars. I'd recommend it to die-hard Haneke fans, but if you're not, I'd probably say you're not really missing too much if you missed this one, because there are much better films in his catalogue that you can really check out. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching movies, and I'll see you later.